have a fear and use it. If you have a specific hunch, say, man, Reese, I'm not trusting these white people. They kind of want to make a fool out of me. They want to tell people that I'm not military. If you have a fear, if someone tells you jump into water with handcuffs, do not fucking do it unless you fucking feel the fuck like it, or strip a nigga of his badge, say you was retarded. You are trying to get the best of me. You are trying to do the thing. I'm at this way, all this equipment on. I don't think this nigga might have to be a teacher now, because he might have to leave the army and get a certified leave, exit, never have to join the military again, because I don't know what the fuck this crazy nigga was thinking when they pushed him into the water. But at the same time, he said, I don't want to jump in because he didn't trust these white boys, and neither do I. So I might not have to join the military. I might be a teacher who gets $40,000 more than the army gets paid, only $15,000, $20,000. You don't have to join no damn Marine. We're going to look up that video, find who it was in that video, and find why these retarded goofies didn't do nothing about it when they said, oh, we just do it what the white boy says, and that's it. Because you never know if you were going to drown, and now you want to strip them from their badge and return that to the real military inside the American community that's been training kids for a long time to be soldiers, to be real men, to be happy, go to a nice school that they love, because I wanted to do top sciences. I wanted to do a super film in a scientific way. So just in case, do what you want to do at a time so that you don't have to be a loser. Keep pushing forward, and America don't have fear, because a lot of the YouTube videos that you see, a lot of Europeans will make top 10 videos, including video games with it. So be careful. Don't let them influence you. Be careful what you watch. Be careful what group of society you're in, just in case you want to go to an American institution. The new elections is coming up. Choose wisely who you want to be president. Don't let people say that, oh, we're going to hide in secret. I will be part of an institution if God let me. I will be a winner if God let me. But sometimes Jesus was a Jew. He died for what he believed as a human in the world, but he was also God. But the Jews got persecuted by Hitler because they were trying to preach the gospel in a certain way that they were already saying. So sometimes when the kingdom of the Sabbath is coming, the Passover it has passed, but we're looking for the Pentecost Sunday is yet to come. So we're going to see what Jesus does in the 2023 election, after the 1700s, after the first century, after the 1800s, after the 1900s, before 3000. Sometimes God could come completely in half, for a little, to the point a little. 2023 is not 2300, is not 2000, it's not 2020. It's a different number in a whole 4 years. So it's a whole different time of the earth, a whole different time of scripture, a whole different time of time. When God says, pray, Reese, bless the Lord, for he is mighty. Bless the Lord, because they spit on him. They probably would have given him a disease, but he died before they could find out his weaknesses. He would never commit suicide. He would never do the thing. That's when the disciples have to come up, just in case they showed how much they found that he loved God, and he was jiving around before they had to persecute him to get on a level, because they were hating on him being chosen, and they persecuted him. So we get our cross, because the only time Jesus has his throne is when we shine on the earth until he can resurrect freely, because the real people who die are the ones who are left on the earth when there's people who realize to spit on people and persecute people and give their children diseases. That's what the Antichrist is, because people will say, oh, we want to go to the Antichrist. So at what point was Pentecost Sunday coming? But people with children blaming people, saying it's his fault that he was trying to get married, trying to go to church to get a strong wisdom and be part of the church and see how things go, but they wouldn't accept him. They try to bulge his head and say he has an illness in secret, and try to hide and say we're going to call the police, with the gay Mexican neighbor saying they existed the whole time. They try to hide and snitch on a guy that was trying to lay low, and they said, oh, we're going to give him a disease in the hospital, we're going to lock him up and ignore him when he's at the counter counter, cut the camera videos off and say that we have guns, we have needles, and we have him in an isolated situation with the doors locked, where we have 5 men come into the room and say, oh, if he kills us, he can't kill us because we have principalities and rulers. But when you go home to your child and someone says he's possible that your child, his co-person in the room said your child has a disease because the white people said it was us the whole time, that you were trying to snitch on people. At what point was it out of the boy's control when all he had was God, when he was locked in there? Just like the disciples, sometimes God is a God of holiness and righteousness. He would never put disease in the enemy, only the Antichrist would. But sometimes the Antichrist works only in the spirit because God said it will happen, but he won't come now. If he could find one person to preach the gospel at a certain time, because when Pentecost Sunday comes, it could be a certain revelation of the next president. It could be the end times after Obama presidency, the end times after Lori Lightfoot, because God said he couldn't have his way because people were disobedient. ATL was released. Movies was released with different spirits of that height and time, different ages of that time. After a convention, before a certain Viking 2017 tried to attack, after 2000 elementary, before Gerald Courts and Truman, in between Viking 2017 and Gerald Court and Truman, in between Viking 2000, and then that time 2000 in between Viking and 2017. You see. So eventually there was different age in one boundary of a square, with different age in a circle with information in it, a different age in 2000 and 2004 elementary versus Viking 2017, and elementary 2017 versus elementary and Truman in between first grade in 2011. So at what point was people first grade in 2011, or a senior in 2008, or a freshman before 2005, or a senior after 2017, or 15 after 2015, or 15 after 2008? At what point was 2005 in the middle, but 2008 was in the middle of 16 in the teenage, but then 2015 was in the teenage, but it was in between the teenage of a split of 2022, 2023, go back 3 years, go back to the first decade, last 3, go back to 5 of an infinitude of 4 of a breakdown.